Good morning, guys and girl. This video is going to be very different to what you might be used to or what you usually see on my channel. As you might already have heard, my BMW GS adventure went in for a service around about 3 weeks ago. And if you haven't seen the video of my delivery of the bike with the strapped on tires, well then you will know that I needed to combine this service with the recall. After spending short of €700, the job was done, and I was delighted with the service quality because I was given a complimentary BMW F900 XR, and I promptly used this opportunity to test it and put up 2 videos for you to have a little look at. So here's the weird part of the story that BMW gave me about the recall. But first, let me reach back to 2021 and 2022. I do remember hearing about the final drive issues and disasters some owners were having. Some experienced a blocking rear wheel at high motorway speeds and were actually literally thrown off their bike without any further warning or prior warning. At the time, I was a little bit weary and I actually went to BMW and bought the Final Drive oil and the Final Drive spline grease, which is a very special grease and you can only get it at BMWs. I changed the oil and greased the splines generously. And on purchasing the special spline expensive grease, I asked about the known issue. I was told by BMW, or the BMW dealer, which is the one in Frankfurt, the main dealership, he hadn't heard about any such issue, and I shouldn't trust everything that I hear or see on the internet. I fortunately had seen a live video of one very dramatic crash on YouTube on a BMW R1250 GS adventure, which really alarmed me. Then I watched other videos about GS owners who showed their rusty final drive shafts on 1 to 2 year old motorcycles. Many of them had information about serious crashes in the UK and in the USA. The issue is that if your bike is used a lot in the rain, or you go off-road a lot, crossing rivers and so on, your drive shaft could actually get rusty inside and hence even snap under some circumstances, which would eventually or inevitably kill you. Even power washing the bike could be disastrous, as the damage could also be a rusty drive shaft. There is a rubber seal on the top of the drive shaft, on the sort of the linkage part of it, and if that is damaged, you could actually get water into the drive shaft, ultimately leaving you with unseen or hidden rusty drive shaft and parts. The BMW service does not require any inspection of the shaft internals. Interestingly, in the spring of 2023, I actually got a recall letter from BMW in Frankfurt and I decided to drive out to them. I also did a video on that for an explanation. I was told that the recall reason was as follows. BMW shaft drives could actually break under certain driving conditions, and they were honest about that. And it could only happen if, for example, the bike was to get airborne and land with the front wheel at a higher RPM, was spinning at a higher RPM than the rear wheel. Sorry, the rear wheel faster than the front wheel, because it could easily be that when you are airborne, that you would in that moment accelerate and the back wheel would start spinning, you'd land on that, and this could result in a snap. The result being, well, let's leave that up to your own imagination. The fix would not need any hardware or any hardware parts. A mere small software adjustment and update would be the sufficient remedy. Once airborne, the gyro sensors would detect the spinning wheel and correct it through the computer, or IMU. So a quick download and away you go. No need to worry. That was the explanation, and job done. Well, okay, what other choice do I have? The present shaft was originally designed for the less powerful 1200 GS, and I don't get an expensive, stronger drive shaft in exchange, as everything can be easily fixed at less cost, just software. You'll never know the difference anyway, unless your shaft snaps. So, do I now have less power? Is the software reducing my power? I don't know. Who dynos a GS anyway? So at the time, I was under the impression that this simple fix had nothing to do with the failures that I had read about or the numerous YouTube videos that I'd seen about Rusty suddenly blocking Rusty drive shafts that happened to occur in 2021 and 2022. I was definitely now under the impression that this was a totally different issue. At least that's until I saw this. I saw this little rubber grommet valve type thing here. Is it a breather pipe? I have cleaned the bike here before and this was never here. I know my bike very well, and how did this little grommet thing get here? And obviously a hole needed to be drilled in order to install this. A little pressure and it's pressed in and gone too. The rubber seal here looks new to me too. No hardware required, is what they said. Was the recall a hoax, and why is BMW keeping this a secret? BMW's secret. Do I maybe even have a new shaft? Was mine rusty? And what else happened in the 3 days that my bike was in being serviced? Anyway, what are my feelings and thoughts here? Well, I would have liked them to have informed me about what really is going on. I want to know about the issues so that I can fully trust my bike. Do I trust the fix now? Why was the fix so late here in Germany? I heard about these issues in 2021 and 2022. Is this a hoax? Should it be to cover up the rusty drive shaft issues? Software fix instead of expensive hardware fix, is that sufficient? Might this not have been safer to go the hardware way? Or would it be just too expensive and time consuming for BMW? Or could it be that BMW don't like the idea that their precious, huge selling, award winning GS is now being dragged down into the dirt? Maybe bad timing before the new GS comes out, I don't know. So initially and ridiculously, I thought that the bikes purchased in Germany didn't or have this issue for some reason or other, because BMW said they don't know about it when I asked them. So what am I going to do now? Well, I've decided not to ride the bike until I hear from BMW themselves. I will, of course, let you know whether or not they have contacted me. And I really do want to make it very clear that I love this bike. However, I'm contemplating on selling it now. I will buy another BMW, and for peace of mind, I won't buy a BMW with a drive shaft. Because there's nothing worse than riding a bike and fearing the drive shaft might kill you at any moment. Thank you for watching. If you haven't watched any of my other videos, I have 2 new videos up on the BMW XR that was lent to me. And I'm going to be having some absolutely beautiful videos of my Ireland-Scotland tour with my buddy Roland. So if you haven't seen all that, do subscribe. If you've liked what you've heard, do like and then maybe even subscribe. It would help me along a long way. Thank you very much and hope to see you soon. Cheers, guys.